Hey everybody, how you doing? Bryan Azevedo, who is any 62 Media represented as a content creator, digital media, because he was being attacked unmercifully on social media, was the focus of a raid by the FBI, according to a number of publications. And what happened is not clear. I understand that he wasn't arrested, however. He wasn't detained, and so he's not incarcerated anywhere. They took his cell phone and his and two laptop computers, and that's it. So, but beyond that, it seems to be more like a guilt by association sort of thing. Unfortunately, and it all stems from the trip that Bryan took along with 50 other people, 52 to be exact, to Vietnam. Now, prior to all of this happening, Bryan gave a first-person account to the San Leandro Times about the trip that was not even picked up by anybody else except ZennyReport.com by Zenny62 Media. And so I thought it would be helpful to those who are trying to get a picture of what's going on here to basically recite what Councilmember Azevedo said in his own words to then about the trip and who went on it, or to say who all went on it, and so on. So with that in mind, I'm going to start the live. I've started the live stream obviously because I'm talking to you on it, and I'm going to present what the article said because it really gives a better picture for those who are quick to fill in with their own thoughts some such events as a raid by the FBI. In other words, what does it mean and what did he do wrong and that sort of thing. Okay, so with all that, I'm going to read to you the account that's on ZennyReport.com, and you can also go to ZennyReport.com, and in the search area you can actually search Bryan. Just put top Bryan and it pops up, and you can read it there, or you can listen to me tell you now what it says, and this is what it said in the FBI raid of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, San Leandro Vice Mayor Bryan Azevedo on the Vietnam trip. This was published June 24th of 2024. Special to ZennyReport.com. Turns out Bryan Azevedo, San Leandro Vice Mayor, was one of the 52 people who flew to Vietnam on August 17th, 2023. The FBI raid on Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's home as part of a multi-address sting that included the mayor's maiden lane property, the home of California Waste Solutions, Andy Duong, and David Duong's home on Skyline Boulevard in the Vietnamese-American Business Association on Embarcadero, as well as the media focus on Mayor Thao, David Duong, Andre Jones, Andy Duong, and Rihanna Webb, completely masked any view of what the Vietnam trip was actually about and who went. Zenny62 Media happened to find an account written by the San Leandro Times in an online search. Since the publication doesn't actually use a PHP-based news platform like WordPress, the document print was not easily findable via search. This reformation of the San Leandro Times article by Mike McGuire will help. The San Leandro Times piece is important because prior to this find, the Vietnam trip was painted in the media as a mostly Oakland affair, but the real picture is that many more representatives of East Bay Area cities and business organizations went on the trip besides people from Oakland. Note that California Waste Solutions is not mentioned in this account, nor is the Vietnamese-American Business Association in Oakland or the Port of Oakland, but the Vietnamese-American Business Association in San Jose is. So who paid for whom on the trip is more complicated and could also point to possible actions that mistakenly or legitimately triggered the FBI raid on Mayor Tao's home June 21st, 2024 at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so you can read the account or listen to me recite the account by San Leandro Vice Mayor Bryan Azevedo and form your own conclusions. This is what the Vice Mayor said. We're trying to put San Leandro on the map, Oakland City Councilman and Vice Mayor Bryan Azevedo said of his recent trade delegation visit to Vietnam. While our place on local maps is secure, Azevedo means the ones consulted by overseas businesses in countries looking for trade partners. He pointed out that the latest figures show that about 15% of San Leandrans are Vietnamese-American, while 37% are Asian American. Some of those residents own businesses that might be interested in trade, he added. Azevedo joined some 50 other local officials and business people on the 12-day trip sponsored by the Vietnamese-American Business Association in San Jose. Among his companions, talking about Councilman Azevedo, were Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, Alameda County Supervisor Lena Tam, Alameda County Sheriff Yesenia Sanchez, and Azevedo's favorite new person he met on the visit, actor Danny Glover. Glover wore a San Leandro hat Azevedo had given him at several events, official events. Quote, now if Glover can just introduce me to his friend Tom Hanks, Azevedo abused. Bryan did, however, invite Glover for a tour of San Leandro in the weeks ahead. Glover accepted it, but they're still working out the exact date. The group was plunged into a whirlwind of meetings, industrial tours, and conversations with leaders. They had a little time to see few sights, but not much, he said. The group visited the chambers of commerce in Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City. Kim Massey, Comcast government affairs representative and member of the Oakland Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, was one of several business leaders in the delegation. Quote, we got to Vietnam at 1 in the morning, and our first meeting was at 7 a.m., Azevedo said. Bryan Azevedo saw the highlight of his trip as his meeting with the nation's Prime Minister, Pham Minh Chinh, who surprised him by cracking a succession of jokes. He also quoted Abraham Lincoln at one point, saying, politicians here don't crack jokes nearly so often. In fact, voters don't like it if they do, especially at meetings, Azevedo said. Vice Mayor Azevedo also met with Mayor Phan Van Mae of Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon, and some continue to call it that. And as a councilman himself, he met with the city's councils in Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City. The delegation visited 2 different automobile assembly plants, 2 ports, a waste treatment facility, and several other industrial operations. Quote, we don't just want to buy things from them, Azevedo said. We want to sell them our products too. He was impressed with how modern the car plants were. On the other hand, the shipping ports in the Bay Area are still a bit ahead. One area he would like to see our ports learn from, though, is in rapidly converting to renewable energy. Vietnam will use 100% renewable energy by 2050, he said. But talk about housing unaffordability, even compared to here, he said, the average port worker makes the equivalent of $200 a month, and the average house costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Azevedo was also struck by how friendly ordinary Vietnamese, as well as public officials, were to Americans several decades after a war there. He also noticed that the streets were safe, even for women and children at 1 in the morning. While we in the Bay Area worry about how many murders were this month, the 1.9 million people living in Da Nang have not experienced a murder there since 2019, Azevedo said. Quote, traffic is organized chaos, though, he said. Azevedo loved the food, with restaurants all following a single outstanding culinary tradition rather than reflecting the wide diversity of nationalities that we're used to in restaurants here. Quote, I found myself missing that food diversity at times, he said, but I've never eaten so well in my life. And that's the full account that Councilman Azevedo gave to the San Leandro Times after the trip. And again, I found it and published it on June 24th, 2024 at zinnereport.com. And the link to that is in this live stream. Okay. And so now what else is going on with this is a very good question. And does it involve the $2,000 and the $3,000 that Bryan got from Andy Duong and the Duong family? Yeah, but my whole point is that everyone from the Attorney General of California to the people on the trip, in terms of elected officials, have received contributions from the Duongs. But I always thought that it was a problem if you got a contribution from a foreign operative directly. Whatever the FBI believes it has seen or found or what it's looking for, apparently has to do with the trip in some kind of way. There are a lot of places to go here, corners to look under, and all that. But Bryan has stated he's innocent and is innocent until proven guilty. They did not arrest him. They did not detain him. So that has to be reported. All right. See you all later, and keep on this channel subscribing it for more news and updates. That's it for now.